Good afternoon YouTube and welcome back. Look at today's weather. It is absolutely glorious out. Now forecast for today is blue, clear skies, 0% chance of rain. We have, I think, a 13-mile-an-hour easterly wind today. Tomorrow is much the same. I think we've got lows tonight of 2 degrees, but the spring activity in the air is buzzing. Someone's having a fire. I'm getting that aroma of a good old Bonnie. That's absolutely beautiful. We've got dappled light through the trees, clear skies, a bag full of trail cameras, and hopefully some badgers to find. So there's a badger set I used to go to many moons ago. I don't know whether it's still an active badger set or not. If it is, that'd be great. If not, I've got a little bit of a walk to maybe try and find one. But fingers crossed. I've got 3 trail cams with me, so I can either cover multiple exits if I find an active set, or maybe I'll keep wandering and try and find a few and then maybe set up multiple locations. I've got my GPS with me today so that when I am there, I can make a note of exactly where they are so I can find them in the morning. So that's the plan, set them up today, leave them for tonight, hope they don't get stolen, collect them in the morning. Right, let's go and find some sets. Well, this used to be quite an overgrown wild area, and I see over the last few years it's been tamed. Let me show you. Now, I was just chatting to a lady who had said that a friend of hers had been watching the kingfisher over this little body of water. I mean, it's not that nice of water. It's always been quite a stagnanty, skanky section of water. But clearly it must attract the fish if it's attracting the kingfisher. So maybe a day could be spent here looking for the kingfisher. I mean, it's on a public footpath, so I don't know how disrupted it would be, or even whether he was actually spotted here or not. There's plenty of perches I can see. It's kind of running water, but really only when it rains, and then we get like a flow through. But hey, I'll have a look on the forums and see if anybody has posted about it. Okay, onwards.
Misty mountains, dusty roads ahead, crossing rivers, dreaming of a bed from a window in the mighty clouds up high. I can touch a stream of gold above, breaking through with hope of light.
Right, well, the first set I went to is one of the original ones that I know of, and most of the holes had been filled in with a lot of sticks. So I'm assuming the farmers didn't want them there. I can hear voices down there. So I'm at a second one that I know of, and although it looks quite trodden, it looks quite feet trodden as opposed to badger trodden. And although they haven't been shut off at all, and you can see the path that goes up there, I mean, it's got potential still, but there's too much. They're really clean with their dens. So when I see there's, oh sorry, the sunlight's there. When I see that there is some like leaves, debris, autumn leaves, etc., it shows that that entrance hasn't been used. Now, it doesn't mean that this whole bank isn't being used, because it's a big bank, and I'm pretty sure it's a big den. I think it stretches a good 100 or so feet from one side, from one end to the other end. So I'm not so optimistic now. I know there are an animal around here the farmers don't want. That was a woodpecker flying through. Yeah, I know that animals that the farmers don't really want around here. So, and there's a lot of kind of terrier type dogs as well. Let me try and find some more of the other entrance and exits and see the state of those. You can see there's plenty of highway signs of the badgers, but there's just too much debris on the actual track, especially when it comes to an up and down slope. That would be rubbed by their bellies and there'd be claw marks coming back up. There's too much debris on the ground, and branches and bushes and leaves are now kind of growing across it. Now this is a big bank around here, and I'm slowly making my way around, but this is the second site of this bank that I know of, and there's a third one around the other side, and these two are completely non-operative, should I say. They're not occupied, they're not being used, and I would say by quite a few years. In fact, I don't remember the last time I came up. I think last time I filmed them here was probably 2018 or 2019. I can get a good view of the banks, and potentially, because we're on the chalk downs, when the ground is rubbed by the badgers and their tummies and their feet and their claws, a pathway that goes up through the banks you can often see, because obviously there's no bracken, no brambles, no debris. But you'll also find, especially around here, is that it's almost like a white buzzard right above my head. See if I can't film him. Yeah, it's literally white, and I can't see. I know roughly where the other den was. It's a good view from here, but I literally cannot see any white markings. It's very much like this, where it's now just begun to grow back. And it doesn't help that it's very bare in this area, because this area was primarily ash, and if you weren't aware, we had a massive disease with the ash dieback, which was from kind of 2010, 11 onwards. So although it's bare now because it's winter, there really won't be a lot growing back for the summer. I came here in the summer down to the rifle range, the old Canadian rifle range for World War II, and you could see straight through these trees into the flat ground. Maybe that's why they've moved on, because it's not that secure, that safe, that enclosed anymore. Right, let's move on to the next one. It doesn't help that they've cleared the whole bottom of this bank, including the old rifle range, which is good to see, But because this is all clear and there's a bike ramp for mountain bikers, that's going to put a severe spanner in the works. Well, I can see where the set was on the other side, and it's literally 60 foot from the bike ramp, and I can see there's debris on it where they've cleared path for the ramps and they've thrown the debris over it. This, unfortunately, is what the country has become. Unless you're in the outer sticks of North England, Wales or Scotland, it's just demolished. There's no tucked away places for wildlife anymore. Fewer and further between. Well, I'm going to stop, have a cup of coffee and think of somewhere else to try tomorrow. I'm going to sit and contemplate, one, what the soldiers were training for World War II, and two, what this used to be like 15 years ago. The amount of times I'd seen fox, badger, kestrels by the, well, I want to say dozen, but I'd see a handful in one day. So between human interference and the ash dieback, this part of Steyning is not dead, but detrimentally ruined. Right, let's have that cuppa. Okay, that's enough contemplating for one day. Let's head home and find somewhere to head out tomorrow. Well, this is the following day. The weather is glorious again today. We've got a few clouds that are just giving a little bit of cover, which is quite nice once in a while. I have to say I'm getting a little bit warm. Now I've come to another location that I know of. And I think by now you would have seen some footage of some of the sets that are empty. There's two I've found that seem to be fairly recently disrupted. The rest of them have got kind of last winter's leaves kind of lining the tunnels. So I'm going to spend half an hour here just to see anything happens in this field. Going to wander a bit further up the track, but I think just further back that way is where I'll set myself up and see if we get any badger activity tonight. I'm not setting any trail cameras tonight, but I have brought my night vision. So hopefully they come out, if it's in the right area, they'll come out just before it gets dark, so I should be able to get away with some of this. And then if it starts getting too dark, I can get the night vision out so we can pick up then. I didn't find any fresh signs of, I don't know if you want to call it scat for badgers, I think it is. And I haven't found any fresh signs of that because I know they're very territorial around a fresh set. There will be plenty of poo, and I keep calling it dens, but I mean sets. They put a lot of poo around, and I haven't found any fresh poo, so that's always kind of the go-to telltale sign for me that it's an active set. So yeah, a little bit of time here. I will carry on wandering further down, but I think I'm going to end up pretty much here, or just a little bit further back that way. That's the plan. Well, I'm at my most optimal location, I think. There's a bank down there on the left. It's got the newest of signs that I can see. And it's 4:05, sunset's at about 6:13 I think. So I think it's time to just sit and have my coffee. I've got the sun setting behind me. Luckily I've got a breeze that's coming this way, so I don't have to worry about my smell. Only my wife has to worry about that. And hopefully if luck is on my side, we will get to see some, film them, and possibly night vision. But now it's time to have a cup of coffee. Well, the time is now 4:45 and temperature's definitely dropped. Light's beginning to drop a little bit just because it's going down behind the hills. And I thought, while I'm waiting, but trying to keep it quiet, I'd just give you a few basic facts about the European badger. They can live up to 24 years, but they can weigh between 4 to 12 kilos. And I'm assuming that's ranging from the smaller females to the larger males, which could be where the variation comes from. Their gestation period can be up to kind of 180, 181 days. So they'll get pregnant in spring and generally have their babies around February, and now we're in the middle of March, so I'm hoping maybe for some cub action. Only time will tell today. They generally produce from 1 to 3 cubs per litter. I think litter's the word that I'm looking for. And hopefully, I'll see some badgers today that have 3 cubs. That'd be lovely. Now, they're known for having really poor eyesight, but they do make up for it in an amazing sense of smell and really, really good hearing. So that's why I'm talking to the camera now while it's still fairly light. And I think if they pick up on anything, it'll be my feet walking. And as I've stopped walking, there'll be no vibrations on the ground. So hopefully that will give them peace and quiet for a while before they come out. Their diet is mostly earthworms and small insects. And early spring, the pick nuts start growing, and if you're lucky and if you find badgers that are digging up those spring bulbs, you'll hear them crunching on them. They can be quite loud. I've just spent a few minutes setting up my night vision on the side of my tripod. So when it gets too dark for the camera, the Equinox 650 is all set up to go. If you've got any questions on it, leave in the comments below. There is a review on this night vision. But the reason why I mounted it to the tripod is that when it gets too dark for the camera, I can just flick straight over to the night vision and it's already pre-set up in the right configuration. Well, I've just had a nice conversation with a local lady dog walking, and she says she hasn't seen any activity along here for a while because she'll often walk her dog later on in the evening, and she said her dog usually kind of has a bit of a growly session if they're around. And I must admit there's no kind of strong smell of it either in this location, and that's mainly because I haven't found any poop. But what she did tell me is that almost every night there's 2 barn owls that hunt in the field to the left here. So maybe I won't get badgers tonight, but perhaps, just perhaps, I'll get barn owls. But I've had a slight change of location. Still in the same spot, but I've just moved onto the bank. So if the barn owls turn up, I can film them. And if the badgers turn up, which I'm beginning to think is less likely, at least I can maybe film the barn owls. I'll be back if anything happens. It's a good way to spend rush hour, that's for sure. Now I've moved my camera to look towards the badgers, and if the barn owls turn up, I won't disrupt the badgers. But if I'm filming the barn owls and the badgers arrive, I don't want to move my camera. So I've set it up about 20 minutes ago, facing this way, and 2 minutes ago I heard a rustling. It could have just been a blackbird amongst the leaf litter, but it's literally from where I'm expecting to see the badgers, if I see them at all. Fingers crossed. There's a lot of noise. Come on, please. Barn owls or badgers. All I'm getting so far is pigeons and magpies, although it's a lovely sound. But the blackbirds are 5:05. Plenty of time. Plenty of time, yeah. Another 45 minutes until it's sunset. And the noise earlier, there was a blackbird. Do the wheels on the bus really go round and round? If you fart in a bottle and put the lid on, is that what they call trapped wind? Is Bigfoot real? Yeah, of course it is. So if I'm dressed in my camouflaged clothes, can I really see myself getting out of here? Right, sunset was 6:12 and it's now 6:20. And I suffer with low light. I've lost my kind of bottom percent of low light for my vision, but the action and my camera will do much better at low light than my eyes can literally do. Some long-tailed tits just in the tree behind me jumping around, and obviously the blackbird giving its final call for the night. Still no signs of barn owls and no signs of badger, but I'm still optimistic, keeping fingers crossed. It's now 7:15, so an hour after sunset. Haven't had any signs of badger nor the barn owl, so it's time to head home, have some dinner, and probably head out again tomorrow. See you then.